What's going on, fellow A pluses? It's your boy Adam Perez. I'm back once again with a brand new movie review. As believe it or not, we're set to go ahead and get into the horror genre a little bit. As I had the pleasure of checking out a film last night by the name of Late Night with the Devil, currently on the Shutter app. If you guys have it, if not, there is like a 7-day free trial. If you guys want to certainly check it out for yourself. Me and the girlfriend actually downloaded it as of yesterday because we've been hearing some great things about this film and wanted to go ahead and check it out for ourselves. So, look, there's a little bit of a story behind this. A couple of weeks ago, I was trying to find a movie to see, and I was in the mood for something scary. And the time in the theaters, I believe they had the first Omen and Immaculate. And I threw out this question over on Threads because I had already gotten my tickets for the Immaculate. And I'm like, what other movies did I try and see this week? And because of the fact that I had picked a horror film, I had like two people suggest to me Late Night with the Devil. And at the time, I had not even heard of it. But once they mentioned it to me, I checked out the trailer and I was immediately sucked in. I was like, I got to see this movie. So fast forward a couple of weeks later, we finally went ahead and downloaded the app to go ahead and check out this film. And man, was this an experience and a ride in and of its own. I was so glad that I wind up checking this out. I do believe I remember seeing it in trailers, but I might have missed it out in the theaters. I don't know how long the run certainly was at the time in the movie theaters. But these days, movies are in and out in like 2-3 weeks tops. Like if you miss it in theaters, you're kind of SOL for a while. So I'm really glad that Shudder wind up actually having it. This film actually dropped in 2023, and it stars David Dastmalchian. You probably have seen him before in other horror films and whatnot. This seems to be his bag, to certainly say the least. But I checked it out, me and the girlfriend, yesterday, and we definitely were not disappointed. So let's go ahead and dive into this a little bit. For those of you who are not familiar with it, the synopsis is pretty brief. It says in 1977, a live television broadcast goes horribly wrong, unleashing evil into the nation's living rooms. When I first had my first impression of the trailer, and especially the beginning of this film, there was a part of me that was thinking to myself, like, is this a true story? Like, was this actually a nationally like live broadcast during the 1970s? They definitely mocked this up to certainly make you believe that it might be sort of inspired by true events, if you will, because they do a really good job of David's character, Jack Delroy in here, sort of playing opposite like Johnny Carson and kind of in these late night talk show wars, if you will, in regards to ratings and whatnot. So, it gives you a brief synopsis on his life, his background, the situation that he finds himself in, really up against it, in the sense that his show certainly might get canceled. And this guy is really trying to go all out to try and get his ratings to certainly kind of skyrocket and go up, if you will, in regards to just late night television shows during the 70s being very stiff sort of competition. And so I immediately go into this film with a sense of belief, like maybe this is kind of inspired from true events. Unfortunately, it is just a fictional story, but I think they do so well with making this sort of like a found footage-esque type of movie, mixed in what I think a great sort of period piece, this taking place in the 70s, the filming techniques to make you feel like you're watching sort of a 70s late night talk show, set designs and stuff really kind of help bring this movie to life and kind of put you in the place of believing like you're watching something kind of unfold, if you will. So I really enjoyed how they wind up sort of tackling this. They also have a really great way of in between the segments breaking away from very short periods of time, like commercial break segments, where you get the opportunity to see what's going on behind the scenes, how Jack Delroy is handling sort of each segment that continues to happen. And the fact that we literally only get like 2 minutes, 2.5, maybe 3 minutes sort of in between segments, the pacing for this movie is sort of like nonstop, and it kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat to make you wonder like what's next, right? Like when things happen in his first segment, you automatically feel like this is just going to be a waterfall effect, in a sense that something's going to happen in the next segment, and it's just going to continue continue to build all the way through, and the fact that they really don't keep you away from those segments for such a very long period of time, I think it really worked to this film's advantage for sure. It comes in under like an hour and a half, so it was a very digestible movie. And while there are elements of, man, I really would like to have seen more, I think the pacing of this and the storytelling just goes hand in hand, and I thought they delivered a fantastic job in here. As far as performances, David Das Malchin, I'm just making sure I'm pronouncing his name right, as Jack Delroy, I thought was incredible. Some great cinematography moments in here too, to really capture like the intensity, the emotions, the confusion that he certainly might be experiencing also. He just really brings the horror element and the vibe to it for sure. And I got to give props to the actress Ingrid Torelli, who plays Lily in here. And then we also have Laura Gordon, who plays June, who is sort of Lily's psychotherapist, if you will. You know, the concept here is very much that Lily has a demon sort of residing in her, and this isn't any spoilers. You can see this certainly in the trailer. But the portrayal of Lily in here by Ingrid, I thought was just so incredibly well done. You can certainly tell like this there's something wrong with her. There is an unhingedness about her. I don't even know if that's a word, but she definitely tends to be very unhinged, unstable. The warning signs from June are certainly all over the place, but you get the desperation of a late night host that is almost willing to do anything in order to kind of get back to number one. Unfortunately, certainly to his detriment. But Lily in here is such a fascinating character, and I thought Ingrid played her beautifully in the sense of not knowing where the Lily character ends and where the demon sort of begins. There are elements to this that makes me wonder, like, did we ever see Lily in reality? You know, is the little bit of the demon very much bleeding through in the way that she's responding to certain things in here? I just thought that the performance from Ingrid as Lily was just top notch in here. They had some really incredible other actors in here. Ian Bliss, who I believe plays sort of like the skeptic as one of his guests, also I think plays up the role phenomenally well. There's an amazing sort of hypnotizing scene in here that really got me and my girlfriend for sure. And I love the way, like, I'm trying not to give too much away, but the way that they play out the hypnotizing scene to where it's almost like us as a viewer sort of become hypnotized too, and the way that they play it off in the sense of re-showcasing the footage of the hypnotism that certainly takes place, I thought was an absolutely brilliant move on their part. But you really just get to see each segment just continue to build and build and build off of something that just crescendos at the end in a fantastic way. You know, there is one element of this movie in the final act that kind of, I don't want to say takes me out of it, but I felt like special effects wise, I didn't really necessarily need it. I don't want to say it jumped the shark, but I kind of wish that they stayed a little bit more practical in certain senses. But it does leave you with a very interesting riddle in regards to how this movie certainly ends, and everything else that's kind of been working in the background sort of all evening to kind of build to this moment. So shout out, man, to the director Cameron Cairns, if I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know exactly who was the writer on this film, but hella impressive, man. If you love a good horror film, if you're looking for something to give you chills and creep you out at night, highly recommend Late Night with the Devil. I'll probably talk a little bit more about it in some of my social media posts, but if you guys want to know a little bit more about it, or if you've seen it yourself, let's go ahead and continue this conversation in the comment section box below. I definitely would love to talk with you guys certainly more about it. But look, guys, at the end of the day, these are simply just my A+ opinions. I want to know yours. Let your thoughts be known in the comment section box below. And until next time, do me a big favor, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.